conflict there since 2015. New research has found that Yorkshire and northern Lincolnshire has taken more refugees from Syria than any other region in England. 4 years on from a government decision to help 20,000 people. There are currently, this is a really small number as well, 280 refugees living in East Yorkshire and northern Lincolnshire from Syria. Estebale is a 17-year-old student living in Hull. Used to live in a small town. Esther, you can pronounce this for me. Latakia, as it looks then, as it's spelt in Syria. You were 11 when war broke out. Thank you for coming in to talk to me this morning.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about your story. Let's talk about your experience. You were 11 when war broke out. Do you remember when things began to change?
Yeah, sure, because it was something not usual, but something we wasn't aware of. So it was just like kind of shock for us.
I can imagine it was. What did you know about why the war took place? What were you told?
Sorry. Again.
Why, what was your understanding of why this war was breaking out?
It's hard, especially if you're living inside the country. But now I think being away from the country and listening to the news while you're outside, you can kind of understand it more than you are inside it, because it gets more complicated, I would say.
Right, so you're caught in the middle of it, effectively.
Yes.
And not only that, but you are subject to the information of the regime at the time, the government at the time, and what they're telling you. So you were 11 when war broke out. When did you realise that your family was going to be uprooted?
It's just because it wasn't getting any better, and then my family just took a risk just because of our future. They think, it's maybe we need to look for something else because it looks going to take a long time. And then we start deciding that maybe we should go and start a new beginning.
So you went via Lebanon, didn't you?
Yes, so we went there for almost 1 year and a few months. And yes, we went there, we signed for the United Nations so that we can, travel to somewhere else to get an opportunity to resettle somewhere else.
So I presume Lebanon is not a particularly easy place to live either, in some respects.
Oh, no. Because there is so many refugees coming into this country, it caused lots of people not welcoming you. You will feel like you doesn't fit in this society. You will find a lot of people who just being racist in the regular basis, and then you can find some really nice people who just love you and who you are, not just because of your background and where you came from. Our church was great. They were the one who were always welcoming us.
So how did you end up in Hull? How did you end up here?
Well, we got invited to go to UK, and then we said, yeah, that's sure. When we got into the airport, they gave us, you're going to Hull.
So they pick for you?
Yes.
And when we say they, we're talking about an official resettlement program, effectively?
Yes. So who took us? Well, because we have it's an urgent case, our case. So then they will look at the country, which country accept you first. And then the UK was taking people as well. And then it's the United Nations who choose, and then they send you to the country, and then the country choose where they want to locate you.
So here you are.
Yes.
Here you are in Hull. How long have you been in Hull for?
We've been here now for 3 years and almost 4 years in December.
Right, wow. And how has life been over those 4 years?
It's not easy. It's challenging, but it can be, you can turn negative into positive.
What kind of challenges when you say it's challenging?
Well, as you get into the airport, first challenge is language barrier. It wasn't easy. We didn't know what we were saying. It was very hard for me to express myself and what I want to say. I see sometimes kids who used to be laughing at me in class. I tried to explain to the teacher that they are laughing. I tell them, they are smiling at me. So it always caused a hazard for me to not. I don't know how to express myself.
Well, you speak perfectly good English now. What's your excuse my ignorance? What's your native tongue?
Arabic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Difficult process to learn it?
Arabic?
To learn English. To learn English. Yeah. How did you find that?
I think it's a good language compared to the other languages around the world. So yeah.
Right, so you're determined you will do it.
Yes.
And you say there have been some challenges along the way. You know, I suppose you feel, as you are, you would feel like an outsider in the first few years. Now your family are living life in Hull. Tell me about what your family are doing. Are they integrating into the community? Are they working here?
Yeah, so our family is really integrating and trying to do our best to make our social life, especially with the local people. So we attend church. We always, so you know, it's with the local people, we always speaking to them. That really helped our language. We made friends, and then it just made us see the real people of this place.
Okay, so you talk about attending church, and I know Syria is a country of many religions. What's yours?
Yeah. We are Christian.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Christians have faced a very difficult time in Syria, haven't they? They've been persecuted from all sides.
I mean, honestly, before the war, there was nothing such as, oh, you are Muslim and Christian. We were all as one. But then the war come, they start to realizing, no, you are Christian and then you are Muslim. It did kind of create a little bit of hazard, but I would say it's acceptable and somehow.
Right, it's very interesting because those are some of the reports out of Syria, that it was a country which was, before hostilities broke out, quite a successfully integrated country in terms of those different cultures and different religions.
Yeah, I think there is. It just depends which parts of Syria you're talking about as well.
Of course.
It's very important.
Right, a geographically large place with some very different backgrounds. So when you come here and you become part of this country and you integrate, and then you see the bombing that's going on in your homeland, and you hear about presumably family and friends who may have been affected by this, and you realise that's part of British foreign policy, what do you think?
You know, it's just sad and upsetting. I do feel a little bit like, why would it happen? But at the same time, I'm sure it's not everybody's the same. There's the good people and there's the bad people. But I can't blame anybody. But at the end, you know, it's the war.
Yeah, it's a deeply complicated. I mean, it feels like the nexus point of many international forces coalescing on Syria, and that must be. You feel caught between so many different things, I imagine.
Yes, it is very hard for me because, you know, living in the UK and then maybe I know they're doing some stuff in our country. Not a pleasant thing, but it's not your choice as well.
I assume you're still in touch with people back in Syria, with family, with friends. What are they telling you?
I mean, the part of Latakia is mainly the safest city at the minute. You know, it's horrible sometimes when there isn't such enough electricity or water and gas and all of this situation, but they are just... It's not a nice living at the minute.
I can imagine. And what are your hopes for the future? What you're 17 years old, you've got your whole life in front of you. God, I sound like an old man saying that, don't I, Jill?
Yes, you do.
Just to confirm. Yeah. What are your hopes for the future?
I have so many hopes. I'm quite ambitious, I'm proud to say it. But I've always loved to carry on what I'm doing, to try to make my country proud and make myself proud and just make myself...
Because you're studying fashion at Hull College, aren't you, at the moment? So is that a career that you will hopefully follow?
Well, it is one of my main ideas. I have a humanitarian side and the creative side. And both of them, I want them to meet in the future and somehow.
Well,
I don't know how.
Good luck. Thank you for coming in to talk to us. If there's one message that you would like people listening to take away from you being here this morning about refugees in our region, what would it be? Is
welcome us and know our background, and also we are just the same as you. We have ambitions and we came a long journey and we had a lot to experience, so maybe just a smile from you and understanding us could make it a lot better and a lot easier, because you know we are trying our best.
Esther, thank you for coming in to talk to us this morning. Estrbelة, a 17-year-old student living in Hull from Latakia in Syria. Did I pronounce that right?
Right.
Excellent, originally. Thank you very much for coming in. It's just approaching 18 minutes past 7. Jill Sennett has the headlines. Morning, Jill.
Good morning. Pilots of British Airways have begun a 2-day